Welcome to week 11 of Manifest podcast, where we are in a 12-week series specifically looking at manifesting and using metaphysical principles in our weight loss journey. We are in week 11 out of a 12-week series. Like we are really at the end, so to speak. So in our program, we would be actually wrapping up at the end of this week. So week 11, the first 7 days of week 11 is the completion of the program. And so week 12 is all about celebration. And today, our topic for week 11 is gratitude. And so, if you're following along in the course, essentially, we have had quite the journey together. Imagine dedicating yourself to 12 weeks of something. Like 12 weeks of anything is a lot, but 12 weeks of manifesting weight loss is incredible. I have a Facebook group that we do 12-week challenges for weight loss. And I've been running this for over 10 years now. So can you imagine every 12 weeks, we start a brand new challenge? And usually the same people sign up, and often we get new people. So for all these 10 years plus and the 4 challenges a year, let's just say I've been able to witness a lot of people's weight loss journeys. And the humbling part of it is that it really takes something to manifest weight loss. There's, it's like an elusive connection that we're all seeking, you know? And one thing that is probably one of the most incredible parts of it is that when it happens, it happens. And when it doesn't, it doesn't. And it can be just that simple. And I always am so curious as to why does it work for some people that time and not for others? And what's that connection? What's that spark? And there is no right answer. However, there is a piece of this that is just, there's a thread between all of us. There is uh, a place, a palpable place that we can connect to. And when we get there, it works. And so this 12-week podcast is really about harnessing like that space, that place that I'm talking about. And one of the places that can get us there, and when I'm talking like places, I'm talking about inside of us. There is a connection that we're seeking to a part of ourselves that says, I got this. I know where I'm headed. I want to get there. I'm willing to get there. Nothing's going to stop me. And gosh darn it, now's the time. There's something about that space that when we can connect there, we got it. How do we get there? And how do we stay there? Well, welcome to the 12-week journey. That's really what this podcast is about. It's about dissecting all these different methods and ways that either A, we can get there, and B, how we can stay there, and C, if we've lost our way, how do we get back there? So today it is about gratitude, because if we want to find one sure way to be able to connect to this place that I'm talking about, it's gratitude. Gratitude is, I would call it like a practice meaning you take it on and you work at it. And it's not a one and done. It is something that we cultivate. It's like a muscle that we work. So as we work a muscle at the gym, we're going to work a gratitude muscle. The more we work this muscle, the more the muscle grows and the more we reinforce that muscle. And then before we know it, we actually can see and feel an absolute shift over time. So let's start at the beginning. What is gratitude? Excuse me. Gratitude is it's a being appreciation and thankful for our life, for what it is we're grateful for. Now, if you look at the definition of gratitude, it says something about being grateful for our positive things in life. And I'm going to get to that later. Gratitude is really about appreciating everything. And we'll get to that. So it's putting and applying thankfulness and an appreciation on everything. So that's what it is. Because gratitude is like a muscle that we work, the more we work it, the stronger that muscle will be. Gratitude works on the mind. It's a mindset shift. So, what does it look like? It really can be just taking a moment and looking at around our life and just being grateful for something. So, imagine if I say to you, what are three things you're grateful for right now? Just what you would need to do is pause this recording, sit and take a moment and reflect, process, and apply the gratitude. So there's a literal process that you need to do. So carving out time for yourself, first of all, doing it. So does that mean setting a reminder, especially in the beginning, when you're starting something new, you might forget. So it could start in the morning. You could do it before bed. Those are already established routines. So you can just apply gratitude to something you're already doing. In the book Atomic Habits, that's called habit stacking. So you're already going to bed. That's a given. So can you add that one new habit of applying gratitude just before bed? Might be helpful. Gratitude can be done anywhere, anytime, as often as you can think about it. So crafting a time for yourself, it can take as little as seriously 30 seconds at a red light, looking around, going, what am I grateful for right now? It can happen anywhere, anytime. How many gratitudes? That's totally up to you. There's no right way, wrong way. I think anytime we can be mindful, stop and be mindful and apply gratitude, we are winning. We are celebrating, and we've got to celebrate that. So how you do it, it's whatever works for you. Where you do it, whatever works for you. The key is find it in your life and start working it. So here's what's so great about gratitude is, so imagine I do gratitude just before bed, let's just say. So, and I've done this before where I've gone about my day, gone grocery shopping and, around town and go at dinner and, lifing. I just lifed. I don't know. I was just doing life, like kind of almost mindless, A day was just an ordinary day. At nighttime, while I'm in bed and I'm just taking a few minutes and I'm ready to look back at my life and reflect on and finding gratitude. Here's what's so fun about it is this ordinary life I just spoke about, all of a sudden, because I'm seeking gratitude, I begin to look inside the ordinariness, if that's a word, and I can then pull out moments to be grateful for. So, for example, ordinary day, I'm in the grocery store. Now I'm looking for moments to be grateful. I remember the cashier, like we're waiting in line, and then a cashier says, I'm open, I can help you. And before I know it, I'm the next in line and I got scooped ahead. And that moment for me is like, you know what? I'm grateful for that moment, the moment where that gave me another few seconds ahead of schedule kind of feeling. Grateful that there was something I was looking for in the supermarket. I had been looking for a couple of weeks and I couldn't find it, and boom, they were there that day. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for the last second, let's go for dinner instead of cooking dinner moment. So, what was once really just an ordinary day paints by reflecting back and pulling out the moments that I was appreciative of and thankful for, it allowed the ordinary to become extraordinary. Nothing really changed. The day was the day. But by applying gratitude, what it's basically opening up for me, my mind, my body, my spirit, is a sense of thankfulness, of appreciating of those moments. And so even just then, leaving my going to bed on those, pulling out those 3 moments of gratitude and just being grateful for those and thankful for it, that alone not only lifted my spirit, but it allows my mind to also paint a better past on what just happened. So instead of the day being left as an ordinary Tuesday, it was highlighting three really special moments that are now putting into my memory bank. And it starts to shift my past memories of how life is or how life was. So you can see how by applying gratitude to past moments, we are actually setting ourselves up for a more pleasant mindset. Can you see that? So now the next time I'm in that same grocery store, what kind of feelings am I going to get when I walk in there? I'm going to be painted with not only I might remember the cashier's face, the one that says, I'm open, I will have a more pleasant moment with them. You can almost see the ripple effect on just three ordinary moments becoming filled with gratitude and becoming extraordinary. So highlighting our past is a beautiful way to just be able to shift our perspectives on how life went. Now, one thing that's why we talk about gratitude in metaphysics is because we've heard it before, but the law of attraction. So, like attracts life. Like, so as we start painting gratitude, and as you can maybe hear me talking about these moments, can you feel that they were all pleasant moments? They were all moments that allowed my vibration to kind of lift up. I'm lifting my own self up in vibes. So as my vibe gets higher, I am now attracting that kind of higher vibration. So I might have been in a lower mood or a lower space, and just by applying some gratitude in the moment, it will allow that vibe to raise up and allow me to get to that high vibe place. So, gratitude is a great way to increase our energy, increase our vibration, which directly impacts us in the law of attraction. So, as we go about visualizing our future, creating a future worth living into, like really sparking us and our desire to take on these new ways, gratitude is like pushing us forward. It's that velocity, being able to just allow and accelerate the process of manifesting, because it's the fuel that's going to keep raising our vibration. Now imagine if I start doing that every single day. What if I start doing it every time there's a stoplight? What if I do it in the morning? Like, really, what if I set 3 alarms a day? Like, more doesn't mean better, but what it does is it's creating that the neurological synapses to fire newly. We're creating that muscle memory. So the more we do it in the beginning, the easier it's going to be. We eventually will get to a place where gratitude, we will be experiencing that gratitude in the moment while it's happening. So instead of reflecting at the end of the night, we can actually take that moment when the cashier says, I'll take you over here. You can actually flood the gratitude in that moment of like, oh my gosh, this is just so magical. Thank you so much. Like in my own mind, and being that beaming sense in the moment allows for that energetic space to shift. So as I'm applying the gratitude in the moment, who am I being when I get my groceries to that new cashier who just opened up their till for me? I got a smile on my face. I'm saying thank you so much. Like, it's then impacting them and spilling out into my environment immediately. So getting that muscle memory, and that's, that practice I'm talking about, that's what we're cultivating here. So, law of attraction, and what it also is, one of the metaphysical principles that I just spoke about. The other one is divine oneness, the law of divine oneness. So, while I'm practicing gratitude, either at night or in the morning or during, what that's doing, the actual act of gratitude, is it's creating that connection to the all of this, like everything that's happening, by being mindful and connecting gratitude to the everydayness of life, we are essentially connecting to the divinity of life. So why why I feel so joyful when the cashier opened that till for me is basically saying like, thank you for that moment. I enjoyed that moment. That's the kind of moment that lifts me up. Now another person may have had the exact same experience, and they are neither here nor there about it. The cashier opening up for them may not be anything it's just, how am I saying it? It's just they're neither upset or not. They're just neutral. And so they may never look at that moment as a gratitude for them because it was just a non-note moment for them. And that note is always neutral, is always fine. It's when we apply the gratitude to the things that we did enjoy, that we are thankful for, is our way to connect to the universe to say, that thing right there that just happened, I'd love that thing. I'm grateful for that thing and I want more of that thing. Thank you. So for someone where the till wasn't of interest and they're not going to apply gratitude, they're not communicating like more of that, please. They're going to be finding another thing to be grateful for, and they're going to be requesting more of that thing. And that's what's so beautiful with the looking at the all of it, is because what I'm grateful for is my gratitude, and what you're grateful for is your gratitude. And so we are all on this beautiful path on our own, but collectively. And so what works for me may not work for you. And that's why when we reflect, it's our own reflection. We are looking at our own lives and pointing out what it is that connects most to us. And what that connection is where we find joy, where we find gratitude and appreciation. So gratitude is a way to find what we loved and say, more of that, please. Thank you. So by saying more of that, please, thank you, is that connection to the all of it, the universe, the source, to God, whatever name you want to call it, the infinite abyss of anything's possibleness. That's what we're saying grateful or gratitude towards, because that's what we're aligning with, and we're saying more of that, please. So gratitude is a great way to connect to not only our inner being, but also to the oneness of all of this. And it's a communication tool, and it helps us refine with clarity exactly what it is we want more of. So huge, huge benefit in when we are taking on new projects, new journeys, new ways of being. Like, by applying gratitude, we're able to really define for ourselves what brings us joy. So huge, huge benefit that way. As you start to do more gratitude, you may want to just take a moment also every once in a while and reflect back at the gratitudes you have been noticing. Whether you write it down and then, a month later, just kind of look back and just see, is there a pattern? Is there certain things that really spark you more than others? And it's just to help really get to know you again and get to know what really matters to you inside. That inner connection I talk about, the what is it inside you, is really what we're working on. And so for some people, that's a new journey in its own, really finding their inner voice, their inner strength, their inner self-expression. So gratitude can be a real great way to see what is actually really important to me. And then if you do see a trend and you start to see, wow, I'm always so grateful when someone is compliments me, for example, that might be something for you to really see, like, actually, that's really important to me. And so how can I cultivate that more in my life? How can I create that in an abundance in my life? And so we could really start to lean into and get to know really what's so important to us. imagine a life full of that feeling that you are grateful for. And if that's becomes the water you swim in and the life you live and the support you have around you, that's a whole new world. That's a whole new paradigm. That's absolutely available to you just by looking back and reflecting. So, gratitude isn't always in the arena of positive. Reflecting back on life and kind of cherry picking only the positive is just one side of the gratitude coin. You want to really get into metaphysics, and the other side of metaphysics is, what if I said to you, what if you were to be grateful for everything? Ooh, like I'm talking the good, the bad, the ugly. Can we, not, yeah, can we, can we actually go there? So when life is not good, when we are dealt cards that we didn't ask for, when life is messy, when we are struggling, when we feel like we've lost our way, like all of that, ugh, can we apply gratitude to that as well? So now we're really talking spiritual journey, because absolutely we can. And I would heavenly, oh, it's interesting. I said heavenly. I meant to say heavily, but I heavily kindly request that you be open to it, open to applying gratitude to everything. So you lose your job, you separate, you lose someone you love, you name it, the stuff that happens as humans, the things we don't love, um, the cards we're dealt with, chronic illness, et cetera, all of that. What if we started to consider or take on a, being grateful for it? And it can be kind of a heavy topic in this sense, because gratitude doesn't mean you like it and that you accept it. It is an opening to seeing something newly. I believe, and metaphysics strongly believes, that the universe always has our back. And every card we are dealt with is in service of us, in service of growth, evolution, connection, the bigger picture. One of the sayings is, if you don't understand why yet, that means the chapter isn't over. Keep reading. So sometimes when we are looking for gratitude in areas that we are struggling in, it can be really challenging because we're in it and we don't want to see the good in something bad. And so I'm cautious with how I say this, because I'm really getting that it's a process and there are some horrible things in life, and sometimes we will never get there. But what happens is, when we're open to exploring gratitude in areas where we're struggling, we can uncover the most profound, life-altering moments of our lives. Sometimes the best things are hidden from our view. And when we are open to seeing them newly, like, how do you see something newly? We ask the questions that are not normally asked. So how this would look is, as I'm talking right now, if something specifically is coming up for you, and that's the thing that you are grappling with, and excuse me, how am I going to apply gratitude to that? How we can begin this relationship and applying gratitude to areas where we're struggling is by taking a moment and, with grace and surrender, ask yourself the question, how can I apply gratitude to this moment? Now, your brain may quickly want to like shut down, but there's an open-hearted space that when we can just be in that moment and surrender and sit with the question. The beautiful thing about the mind is the mind loves to answer questions. So by giving it an open-ended question, it will come up with an answer. And that's when the gifts can be accessed. So taking a moment, sitting down, and just saying, how can I be grateful for X, Y, and Z? And just sit with the question. And what it's doing is it's changing our mindset in a way where it's searching for. Left for a few moments, that's the opening that's available. And continually available to see something newly is so beautiful, because if we can take a moment and allow it to arise, it will forever change the context of our struggle. It'll also allows us access to feeling a sense of being powerful in maybe areas that we felt we weren't powerful, or we had no control over, or we felt victimized, or, often there's that sense of like, there's nothing I can do about this. Applying gratitude allows for and opens the door to us to have almost like an inner peace when the outer peace is not available. If I can have inner peace in here while there's chaos out there, I'm winning the game, because I have me and I am connected to me, and nobody can take that away. So gratitude is this beautiful opportunity. It's a space that we create by just taking a little bit of time and putting intention and attention on what we want to appreciate and be thankful for. I love the analogy in working with metaphysics of please and thank you. We teach our kids when they're little the please and the thank yous. Ask and you shall receive. That is absolutely in metaphysics principles. So when we set out to create a vision and a future and what we're up to, that's our please. That's our, this is what I would love, please. And the ultimate cycle and completing the cycle is, even if we don't have it yet, we are saying thank you. We are in constant openness to receiving. So just as you're in a restaurant and you've put your order in, they grab the menus and you say thank you. What are you thanking them for? You're thanking them for the process. And then when the food's arriving, they set it down. What do you say? Thank you. So as it's manifesting, the gratitude piece is that constant connection to your request and the receiving. And then finally, looking at this in a big picture, we set out on a journey where we are committed to losing weight, and we are on this journey applying gratitude along the way. So imagine like I shared, I've, been admitting this 10-year group. Every 12 weeks, we start a new challenge. If I were at the end of my 12-week journey and I'm getting ready to do the next one, if I just took a moment and reflected back on the last 12 weeks, what I did, what I didn't do, what got accomplished, what didn't, did I fall flat on my face? Did I even remember I signed up for it? Like anything, just reflecting back on everything that happened, and took the context that what if everything I went through in the past 12 weeks, I am so profoundly grateful for. Every learning I got, every time I fell down and got back up. What if I took the perspective that all that was for me, so that when I take on a new 12 weeks, I am then putting out my request to the future. I'm saying, please, And I'm being thankful along the way as I'm doing my new journey. Everything that's happened prior is all lining up for where I am right now. And that's really a beautiful place to stand because now I got my power. And who am I ultimately responsible for is my connection to me and my connection to all of it. And so gratitude is like the glue that allows me to really see that this whole thing's a journey. Everything I've done and haven't done that has led me to this moment is all in service of what I've been looking ahead for, what I'm creating, what I am intending. Imagine having a vision board. You take the time, you put everything you want on this vision board, and every day you take a moment and you look at it. And then you say to yourself, okay, I'm going to go out there, I'm going to live my life and in service of that vision board. Everything that happens out there is because of the vision I'm creating here. That connection alone and that declaration alone will alter how you view life. How life will show up for you will be different because you're connecting your intention to what's happening for you. So gratitude's the glue. Your vision is where you're headed. The appreciation is allowing you that conversation along the way on your journey to really help uncover and unveil your journey in every step along the way. So, with that, have an incredible week. Stay tuned to our final episode next week, where we really wrap up the whole program and look at what life is celebrating and creating newly. Have a great week. Hey, it's Kelsey from the Junction. If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to like and subscribe and share it with anyone you think this could be of value to. Also, if you're looking for more accountability and structure around your weight loss and you're enjoying how the metaphysics can really work in your life, I've created a 12-week weight loss course designed for you. It has daily check-ins, daily lessons, questions, and prompts for you to really immerse yourself in the content and have lasting results. Go to junction.today/weight loss to find out more.